Hi there, welcome to the Jaden Show. I'm going to Pasadena, California today to meet eclectic singer-songwriter, award-winning singer-songwriter Johnny Schaefer. You're going to meet him in a minute. I hope you've had a lovely week. It's wonderful to be back with you and to get to introduce you to another super special person. However, I think we should go and watch and hear a little bit of this man in action. This is called When It's Your Kid.
Whole family went to church each Sunday, yes they did. But they stayed silent on this one day when the preacher said that if you're gay, you'll go to hell. And though that's not what they believed, they didn't tell him. And so he took his life in shame. He thought he'd only cause them pain if he kept living, not knowing they'd still love him, 'cause he was their kid. Yeah, he was their kid. When it's your kid, don't you want them to be happy? When it's your kid, don't you wanna help them thrive? They're not stupid. If you could see the future they see, you'd go easy. When it's your kid, when it's your kid, you want them in your life. There were some kids, they loved to go to school each morning, yes they did. Until this one day, without warning, they heard screams and hid beneath their desk like grown-ups taught them, but it failed and bullets caught them in the back. Each parent listened to the list of victims. You could read their lips, they prayed in earnest. I hope this won't seem selfish, but please not my kid. Please, not my kid. When it's your kid, don't you want them to be happy? When it's your kid, don't you wanna help them thrive? They're not stupid. If you could see the future they see, you go easy. When it's your kid, when it's your kid, you want them in your life. Oh, we're a generation that's been hypnotized by fear. We're a driven nation that lets greed and anger steer. What teaching drives you to reject the child you love? When it's your kid, don't you want them to be happy? When it's your kid, don't you want to help them thrive? They're not stupid. If you could see the future they see, you'd go easy. When it's your kid, when it's your kid, you want them in your life. Tried to tell us about the climate, yes she did. Oh, yes she did.
Well, you know the drill. You know that I would love to introduce you to Johnny right at this minute, but I'm not. You're going to have to be patient and wait for a little bit longer, because we're now going to go to a Jaden Show commercial break. Hey guys, I wanted to take this opportunity to let you know about the Jaden Show commercial break starting now. This is amazing news because now every single week you have a couple of minutes to be able to advertise something you want to advertise. So if you have a business, if you have an event coming up, if you have a new album, art gallery, or anything you want to particularly advertise on a show, this is your chance to do it. March and April 2024, the advertisements are free. So please let me know. Get in touch to me on Jaden Cornelious at AOL.com. It will be wonderful to hear from you. If you are a charity or a charitable organization or a non-profit and you are advertising something with regards to that, then always your advertising is free. So let me know. You will need to send me between a 1 and 2 minute video around that time, if possible, something that you want to advertise, and I will fit it into this spot. Get on. I'll see you soon. Take care, bud. Okay. Hold your horses. We are now going to meet this week's incredibly special guest, the amazing Johnny Schaefer. Johnny Schaefer, welcome to the Jaden Show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jaden. Thank you. It's really great to be here. I've love your energy, and I checked out some of your shows and the guests that you have. It's I love musicians that support other musicians.
I love lovely people. So I've been very blessed that you're the 152th now.
Nice.
That is really nice. So tell me, because award-winning artist, eclectic singer-songwriter, I mean, like, there's quite a few ways to introduce you, young man. So how did it all start? For little baby Schaefer, you're kind of running around in nappies. Was you like dancing to music? How did it start? Let's take it.
Yeah. You know, my mother said that she used to sing to me when I was a baby, and the first thing she ever heard me do was sing. Like, I tried to, sing back to her. Wow. And my dad was a preacher and very musical. So a lot of times, instead of watching TV, we would sit around the piano and sing all night. Nice. And so I wrote my first song when I was 4 years old. And I used to lay on my bedroom floor and listen to music. And I used to read the credits. And it said, it always had at the bottom who the writers of the songs were. And it said ASCAP after their name. And so I used to tell people I'm going to be an ASCAP, and now I am. And so I wrote my first song when I was 4 and sang my first solo in church when I was 4. So yeah, I've been singing my whole life, and it's what I always wanted to do.
That's amazing. So you've been singing now for 33 years. That's it.
Plus another almost
a year longer than me. That's wonderful. So was you basically just around church music, or did you have other influences?
No. I mean, my dad was he was a Lutheran minister, which they're not like, everything has to be Christian or anything like that. We listened to all kinds of music in our house. And I mean, in the 60s when I was growing up, the Beatles were just becoming a thing. And that I can remember the first time I think the first Beatles song I remember was I Want to Hold Your Hand. And so as a little kid, I was bouncing around the house singing that. And the first song that I wrote was actually, it was about the pollution. Like, it was called The Earth Cried Help. So even as a 4-year-old kid, I was concerned for some reason about stuff like that. So it
here for one mission and one mission only, it seems.
Yeah. So my dad, my parents both used to play a lot of different kinds of music in the house all the time. And so I, grew up with a lot of classical music. My mom played piano by ear. So she was really into Simon and Garfunkel. So I heard she used to play a lot of those songs, and I sang a lot of those songs as a little kid. And, and of course, Paul Simon's writing, I'm very lyric focused, and his lyrics are amazing. So I think maybe, I don't know if it rubbed off on me, but it doesn't hurt.
So that's not a bad start, really. Obviously destined. So did you know at 4 years old that you wanted to take this more seriously? I mean, like that this was going to be your path, or was it just like, oh, I love it, it'll be really cool? I mean, I was sitting on the swing with a scarf on my head singing ABBA songs. So, I mean, like I knew
Yeah.
that I was either
Yeah.
going to become trans or a singer, so I wasn't quite sure which was going
Yeah.
to happen. So I got the singer part, apparently a lot less expensive. So, so yeah, did you kind of know at that time that it was something that you wanted? Like, this is it for me.
It's what I always saw myself doing. And I think the adults in my life were concerned about me having a future. And so they kept saying, oh, you got to have something to fall back on.
Of course.
And looking back, I may have not taken them quite as seriously as I did, but I got my degree in music. I sang in all through school, and luckily I went to this high school where music was actually cool. So in Porterville, California, 1,300 kids in the school, and we had 300 on our marching band, and we had 4 choirs.
Wow.
And music was cool, so I loved it. I had a great time, and I actually wrote a piece for my high school band that was performed at our concert my senior year. I wrote out every part and everything. So yeah, I always wanted to do it. When my degree was in voice and composition, and then I got a day job because I thought, well, I need to make money to make my demos and do all that stuff. And I had a couple of bad experiences in my 20s with music lawyers that said they were going to help me get into the music industry, and they took a lot of money from me and really never did anything. And I got into debt, so then I needed a regular job, and so I got into the banking industry. And so I did that for decades while I did music on the side. I mean, I've always been singing professionally in churches, and then like I do a lot of backup singing. I've sung backup for Josh Groban, Sarah Brightman, Billy Idol, Pete Townsend, Melissa Manchester. And so I wanted to do it full time, but I didn't know how to make that happen. And then I released an album about 10 years ago, and then about 5 years ago, I was laid off from my corporate job, and it was right when COVID hit. And then my parents got real sick, not with COVID, but they were both diagnosed as terminally ill. So my husband and I went to Olympia, Washington, and we were their caregivers for about a year. And I just went crazy writing music because it was during lockdown. Yeah. And then I started, these songs are pretty good, so I started sending them around, and then I never went back to the corporate world after that. I've just been doing music now. So I'm a late bloomer, I guess, but it's always been in me. I just didn't know how to make it happen.
Well, you've been a bud for a very long time, quite frankly. Power to you. And I mean, Josh Groban and Sarah Brightman, my God, my dreams to sing with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a few people on that list, actually, but there are definitely 2 on there. So was you playing instruments at the time, or was you just kind of making up melodies and singing and record? I mean, like, how did it work? Did you
I played trumpet all through school. Okay. And again, this is the thing where my parents were supportive, but also very practical. So my dad said, well, I think you should just focus on one instrument. I wanted to take up piano and guitar, but and I wanted to be in marching band. So by default, I played trumpet. Right. So I've been catching up with that also. I'm learning piano and learning guitar and all that. So I'm not good enough, I feel, to accompany myself, but I know a lot of great musicians. And so when I do live stuff, will team up with them. And then I'm learning Cubase recording software. Okay. And because I have a few friends that use it, and it's going pretty well. I've made a couple of complete demos now that I'm really proud of. Mm-hmm. And it kind of saves me time in the studio too, because I can go into the producer with the world I want the song to live in, and it helps a lot.
Absolutely. That's bloody amazing. Oh my God, super. Like, I need to be doing this to you now. I'm still like, it was really interesting. My friend, I had a copy of Logic, and it took me until my early 30s to realize that the way you turn a computer off is not by letting the battery drain. You can actually shut it down. That's how technical I was.
No, yeah, I hear you.
And
Yeah,
I
my husband.
managed, but I had this little interface thing. Let's put it interface. I can't remember the name of it now, but anyway, this little interface thing plugged into my computer. And I managed to record one demo and do a little green screen video with ABBA. This was just like a little like trial thing, like singing to a backing track. And then a friend of mine came in and she recorded, we managed to set up a piano. We recorded it, done backing vocals, got samples, put it all on there. Really, really simple because I'm so not technical. And it won the best score for this independent film festival in London. And I've never been able to work it since, ever. Like, not even, like, can't even get my voice to record now. So I might have to, you know, like what a young man in his late 20s should be like, you know, taking it, should be introducing to the world of production and technology, because I have not got a clue. So that's amazing, man, that you're doing that. And it does make a difference. It does make a difference. Like, to be creative and then to have to wait until you have the money or the contact or whatever to put something on. It's just like, I don't know, it's like making a custard and letting it sit until it goes rock hard. It's just like, oh my God, it just doesn't happen.
That magic of having the song bounce around the room for the first time, that's been bouncing around your head for months or at least, is really amazing. So yeah, it's to be able to do it more quickly does help. Yeah, you might check out Cubase. I mean, it's pretty user friendly. So, and you got the green screen thing going on. I don't. So,
oh, no, this is my natural decor in my living room.
Oh, there you go.
Every day's a Jaden show. I live, eat, and breathe. Okay, yeah, I'm going to be on that, and it will save it, and I can, you know, upload. So, marching band was this is what you want to do, right, at this particular time. When did you kind of think, right, I want to go a little bit more mainstream now?
Well, I for me, it wasn't one or the other. So I was in marching band because it was cool, and it was, you know, I was in school and that was the thing, but I was writing songs on the side. All these years I've been writing songs, and I always wanted to make it. I used to, my favorite singer-songwriter when I was in high school, teenager, was Melissa Manchester. And her songs, I was in the closet, and it was a really difficult time for me. I was in the 70s, there weren't any gay people on TV except for Billy Crystal on Soap. And then there was Anita Bryant marching around America preaching against gay people. So, and the AIDS crisis was just starting to happen. So I was really scared and alone and didn't know how to come out or anything. And Melissa's songs were very comforting to me. They sort of made me feel, I feel like she sang me down from the ledge. You know, like I felt I was suicidal, and but I was taught that you couldn't do that. So I actually used to pray, oh, please let me get in a car accident or something, you know, and so her music kind of was the light out of that for me. And I used to write songs and send them to her on cassette tape, and I'm hoping she would record one. And they got to her, and she thought it was cute. And so we kind of started communicating. And then all these years later, my husband makes her music videos, or some of her music videos, and then she recorded my song "You Can't Hide the Light" with me. And it's just an amazing thing for me to have my idol sing a song with me. And I won the UK songwriting contest for best original song. Wow. And then the music videos won numerous film festivals. And so it was a full circle thing. And then Melissa just re-recorded all of her, or many of her hits, because she doesn't own the master, so like a lot of artists have done. And so one of the songs she re-recorded was "Whenever I Call You Friend," that she wrote with Kenny Loggins. Okay. And she said, "Do you have any new ideas for this?" I said, "Yeah, I think actually you should we should maybe use Earth, Wind, and Fire as a template. Because I always kind of heard the song faster. And she said, love it. Come in the studio with me. So I got to be an associate producer on the track. And then Kenny Loggins ended up singing it with her. And Dave Cause played saxophone. So I got associate producer credit and it was pretty magical.
Credit just to be in the studio while that's happening.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It was the magic of hearing this song that meant so much to me my whole life, and now being able to be with the person who created it, coming up with a new version of it. It was amazing.
That's intense, man. That's so cool. I mean, one of my questions probably would have been, what has been the highlight of your career? But I just think you can't get much. I mean, my muse, like the woman that I loved and still love deeply, is Olivia Newton-John. Like, she was my complete muse. And I got to meet her in about 15 years ago, about 15 years ago. Because she just happened to sing back in the UK, and I was doing, I'd read one of her books, and I thought, sod it, I've just been suffering with mental health for a long time. So I thought, right, I'm going to just kick my ass. I have not sung for ages. I'm just going to teach people to sing who don't think they can sing. I'm going to teach them 40 Olivia tracks, and we're going to tour it, raising money for her breast cancer campaigns. So we did that, and I got to meet her quite a bit. And that was always my dream. Was just, I don't want to do it for money. I don't care if it's never released. Thing with my muse, that would have been it. So I can so feel how that must have been for you. That I kind of miss mine for. So I've got Linda Carter and Yetta from ABBA is still on my list of legends that I need to be singing with, and Josh Groban actually. Because he got me into classical crossover music. But I can't even begin to imagine. Was there any point in that studio that you must have gone, holy fuck?
Oh yeah, many times I was pinching myself. I mean, when we made the music video for the song,
it's a great video, by the way. We're going to watch it after. It's an amazing video. We're going to watch it on the way out. But yeah,
cool. Yeah, we did that at the Lineage Performing Arts Center here in Pasadena, where I live. And we were backstage I was sitting next to Melissa putting our makeup on. Yeah. And we were just talking about the song. And I said, when I first used to go to her concerts, I used to throw teddy bears on the stage. Yeah. And the LA Times reviewed one of her concerts. I think it was one of the newspapers. And the headline was "Teddies for Melissa," because
how many did you throw?
Well, by that it was funny because I did it, and then other people started doing it.
Wow, okay.
And then she said I had to donate them to the Children's Hospital because I got so many from people. And so it was, and
I guess that's kind of like the equivalent of TikTok viral back then, right?
Yeah, it was surreal, and I kept pinching myself, and she'll come over here in this room where I am right now and edit videos with my husband, and so just to think back on when I used to lay on my bedroom floor listening to her music, and her kind of being my guide through a tough time in my life, and then now having sung with her was pretty cool.
That's amazing, mate. That's just okay. The show's finished. I mean, where can we take it from there? That's just amazing. Let's go back to obviously writer and artist. Do you have a preference? Do you like being in the studio creating, or do you like live performance and stuff like that? I mean, do you have a preference in your craft?
As long as I'm making music, I'm happy. But I guess I would have to say my happiest place is the studio. There's just something I like to, and I actually have a hard time finding producers these days because a lot of them want to lay down all the tracks and have you come in and sing over them. And I have zero interest in that. I want to be there when every note is placed, because it makes sometimes one note makes a huge difference. And so I love that. But I also love singing live. I mean, connecting with people and getting that feedback. I've had a few instances now where people sent me messages that they're in tears from a song. And one in particular, one night late at night, a woman emailed me, and she said that her daughter was autistic and had never spoken, and they used to like to sit and watch music videos together. And for whatever reason, one of my Christmas songs really caught her attention, and she just wanted to watch it over and over. All of a sudden, she started singing with it, and it was the first time she had ever, verbalized or done anything, and so that I started crying like right there, just to have something like that is it makes it all worth it.
We've made music. I mean, not us personally, but as a society, we've made music so transient, so kind of like, yeah, where's a new song out tomorrow? We don't have legends anymore. We don't have icons anymore. And I remember when I was younger, I was desperately shy. Like, couldn't even get on a bus until I was in my 20s because I couldn't walk on in front of people. And desperately shy. But I started doing gospel and kind of a lot of kind of worship stuff back in my late teens.
Mhm.
And yeah, probably my late teens, early 20s, probably. And I used to I really used to take it seriously. And I kind of had, it sounds a bit weird, but I kind of had my own little ministry. So I would go and sing in different kind of evangelical Pentecostal, like Baptist churches around the area. And then I've done the same in Canada as well. And I used to spend hours just kind of praying at a time, searching, I guess, for the right song that I felt was the appropriate one to do that particular Sunday. And then when that one person came up to you at the end and said, I've just had the all clear from cancer, every single word of that song, summed up my fight and the glory and, just like that kind of thing. And then when you start to become, in the 90s, I was becoming a pop star, and I was a pretty little skinny boy. So it was going really, really well for me. I've gone from like being told by model agencies that I'm way too ugly to be a model. My nose is like Play-Doh, my ears are too big, to being in every teenage magazine going. It was amazing, but I was too shy, and I was so scared that I would lose it. I didn't enjoy it. And I never, and then you're put with the songs, which are great songs. I listen to them now and I love them more now than what I did then, I think. But they're just songs, and you sing them and you enjoy them and they're fun. But what I wanted to do when I got older was just to have that, not the gospel preachy ministry thing, but just to have music that might just touch one person. I want more of that within it, because I think that music is desperately powerful. And what we've done, like most things in life, we've taken the power out of everything. So it's just conveyor belt,
Yeah.
And but how it can touch people, how it can make an autistic kid verbalize for the first time. I was singing in a shopping center and I was being not a diva, but I just really wasn't enjoying it. Like, I was like, oh my God, no one's listening to me. I might as well be at home. I'm not getting paid like this. You need to do self-promotion and you don't know who's going to be there. Well, I've done that for 20 years and no one was ever there, And afterwards, I was packing away. I still done it for 2 hours, 3 hours, I think it was. Still performed, still done my thing. And this woman came up to me and she was really shifty. And me, I was like, I always get the nutters, always get the crazies come and speak to me. And I could not have been more wrong. And this was one of my best lessons and most humbling lessons as well. She took a while to be able to talk to me. And then she said, I just want you to know that I've been agoraphobic is scared to go out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is. So I've not been able to leave my apartment for, I think it was something like 18 years or something. I've just finished 5 years of therapy. I thought today was the day I'm going to try and walk out into town. She said, I walked out into town and I heard someone singing Dance with My Father, and that was the song I dedicated to my dad. So I had to come and see you. And this is the furthest I have been outside my house in 18 years. She goes, because of that. And I was like, I shouldn't complain about anything. You're so selfish, Jaden, that bloody ego. Just that was like exactly why I've done it. That was better than an award-winning producer saying,
oh yeah.
I love your style, boy. Let's go and make a record. That was just like, that's the shit. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So
ultimately, I think we're plugged. We have to be dialed in. I feel like we're all connected. And so when we are, and when we're trying to plug in spiritually, or however you want to, collectively and
Yeah.
serve through our music, then those things just naturally open up, and the music gets to the people it's supposed to reach.
I'm not saying, I mean, because, like, even when I was a pop star, and people were saying, oh my God, like, you guys are so cool because it's just like a club we really want to join. You have so much. We want the best dancers, the best looking, all the best singers, but we had a bloody scream and we were best mates. And that was, I mean, and that is powerful as well. Do you know what I mean? It
Oh
was,
yeah.
people like, oh my God, we just wanted to join you because you look like you was having so much fun. And we were. So I wasn't saying that, like singing, regular music is not, doesn't still have that worth. It does completely. But when you really move someone, when you hear that autistic girl, the first time she's verbalized it to your song, OMG, that's life-saving shit. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Amazing. Any more highlights of your career? Come on, fill me in. What else?
I would say that the video you played, When It's Your Kid, I wrote that song because I kept seeing, I'm 62, and I kept seeing all these TikTok and Instagram reels of kids just distraught and angry over the world that we're leaving them, and feeling like our generation does not care and isn't doing anything. And so I thought, this needs a song, and what should that look like? And so I started with personal experience, and the story that I tell in the song about the kid who, heard a sermon in church and ended up killing himself. That was a true story of someone that I knew of. And so since I've sent that song out, George Takei, Sulu from Star Trek, he shared it on his Threads account the other day.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool for me. And he said, listen to this beautiful song. And there was a guy who I was bullied in junior high school. I hadn't come out yet, but kids picked up on it, that there was something different about me. Yeah. So this guy from 50 years ago emailed me the other day, and he said, I remember I used to bully you, so I'm sure you remember it too. I'm sorry. I was young and stupid. What you're doing here is really great. I'm going to download your song. And on my website, I let people choose their own price to download my music. And he downloaded the one song for $25. Wow. And it was just the point of that is just the gesture that, he wanted to show that it meant something to him. And so that was pretty cool for me, that there was sort of that healing coming full circle after 50 years, through music.
I had that not the similar way, but I was bullied to shit. Like, have you seen? I don't know if you've got Netflix, but there was Heartstoppers.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that was my life. Apart from, I never met the rugby boy. I was just hiding in classrooms and closets, literally every single break time, because I was beaten to shit every single day on my whole of my school life. And it was really amazing because my thing is, I started to become famous in the 90s, and I remember, like, one of the most beautiful guys at school, like, had six-pack. He was like head of the football team. I won't say his name here, but I struck my mic with the excitement. He was really, really stunning and an absolute arsehole. And I remember I just got back. I think I was in Thailand. I think I've been in Thailand singing out there and doing stuff out there for a while. And I just came back, and I was going on my way to a photo shoot and an interview. So I had like designer clothes on, my hair been done by a famous person. And I just remember walking through this shop, and this guy looked at me, and I'm not against fat and bald either, because I'm now fat and very little hair. But I just saw this guy, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and it was the guy from school. And this was like 15 years later. and he just looked away like this. And I was like, I was the ugliest kid at school, big ass, like I looked like Harry Potter. I mean, it was even remotely trendy. And at that point, I was looking the don. I was looking good, and all I needed. I've never needed any revenge. I never thought about it since. But I was like, your bullying didn't work forever, mate. Just for that. and now I'm in your magazine. How cool is that? Yeah, it's amazing that guy did that. It must have been. Your music's making some work, right?
Yeah, I feel, I always, when we were producing that song, we said if we could just reach one person, it'll be worth it. And, I've already actually had a few messages from people that it really affected them. So, yeah. Another thing that, since you were talking about Josh Groban, I've gotten, when he comes to LA, I'm friends with the guy who contracts the singers for his gigs when he comes to our area. So I've gotten to sing in 8 different times, I think, when when he's been in LA, and to be on the stage when he's doing "You Raise Me Up" and see everyone with their lighters or their cell phone lights, waving them like that is pretty cool.
I want to be on that stage. I've seen those. My dream has always been, I really want to sing the prayer with him.
Oh yeah.
I want to do the Charlotte Church bit, because I can do both, but I want to do the Charlotte Church bit. But that's So if you meet him, just say, look, there's this weird ass in the mountains. Would really like to do Charlotte Church for your Josh. He might say no. He might say yes.
You never know. He's a pretty down to earth guy.
I've seen him in London a couple of times, and I'd never been brave enough to go to concerts because I've always been scared of being around lots of people. It's always been it still is a big thing. I'm somewhere on that autistic spectrum, so lots of people, loud noises, like hospitals, airports, all this stuff really affects me. And but I managed to get with a couple of friends to go and see Josh Groban in concert, and that boy, I actually even forgot about the music he was singing. I preferred him when he was communicating with the audience, because he just is so natural and easy and entertaining and funny and humble. I don't know if this is him in real life. I've never had the chance to meet him, but I was like, "Rah, stop singing, just talk." I love hearing you. He addresses people and stuff. It was just incredible. Superstar, bless him. So this is what you've done, from marching band to working and producing with your ultimate muse. Where the hell does Johnny Schaefer go from there?
Well, I'm working on the Jaden show. Oh yeah, now I'm there now. I'm working on an album right now. I'm going to include a few of the songs that I've done released as singles over the last couple of years, but I got a lot of new material. In fact, I just woke up this morning and wrote a song. A lot of my music comes to me just as I'm waking up, and a lot of times around 3:30 a.m. I'll wake up and I sneak out of the bedroom so I don't wake up my husband, and go in the other room and write everything down, because if I don't do it on the spot, I'll forget it. And so a lot of my songs come to me, in when I'm sort of half awake. And so I've written a lot, and I'm figuring out which ones I want to record and who I want to work with.
Well, if there happens to be a duet available, Johnny, I'm someone with an all classical vocal that might be able to get. I mean, I'll have.
There you go. Well, we love to go to Mexico, so Paco's got a lot of family down there. So
absolutely. I mean, if not, we can always do it remotely. That's not an issue.
Absolutely.
I'm going to study Cubase and start getting a little studio. But yeah, that would be great. So that's when you're working on a new album. So it's obviously channeled, mate. Obviously channeled.
I do a lot of meditation. I have a song coming up. My next release is going to be a song I wrote about meditation, called "Find a Place," and Gerald Albright plays saxophone on that track, and I met him through Melissa, or we haven't met in person, but we did the remote thing. I sent him the track and he played on it, but I was pretty excited to have him playing on it, and he just nails it. It's really beautiful.
So lovely to hear your stories, man. So because it's so easy, it's such on some level, it's quite an isolating industry, because you've got to do everything. You've got to get the music, write the music, produce the music, do the photos. I mean, maybe not you, but you're the only one that's taking charge of how you grow. And it sometimes becomes really daunting and overwhelming and depressing, and
Oh yeah.
and I love it. And
Oh,
I've been singing for 32 years, even though it probably would never have been the career of my choice. Um,
hmm.
but it's really amazing to hear what is going on, because I was actually talking to a friend the other day, just saying, I don't know what, I'm 52 years old, and I don't know even what, on one of those days when I don't even know what I'm even bothering for, because what is there for me now? And then I thought, right, I'm going to really power up the Jaden show. I'm going to just start chatting to people, because it does become, like when you're left in your head, especially being creative and a depressive, that's not a good combination. But when you start to chat to other people that are still doing the things they love, that are really enjoying it, it re-sparks your energy and your passion as well.
Mhm.
So I think
Yeah.
it's amazing what you're doing at 38 years old. It's a
Lots
blood,
of you.
absolutely. So new
Yeah, no,
album.
I think it's wonderful. And like I said, musicians who lift up other musicians are really important, and I applaud you for that. And I'm really grateful that you had me on.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. I just like talking, and I like talking for ages in English, because my Spanish is really crap. As when you come to Mexico, you will discover.
Well, yes, yeah, no,
I can order a coffee and a pan of chocolate. Oh, no, that's French. But I can get better than I can drink. Apart from that, okay. Especially when it comes, because obviously I sing. When I was living in another part of, I was living in Quintana Roo, like on the Caribbean side, and I was singing 7 nights a week there. But it's great because it's all tourists. I didn't have to speak much
Mm,
Spanish. But I'm singing 3 to 4 nights a week here in
mhm.
the state of Chiapas, and no one really speaks English. To say, come on, clap your hands, or enjoy this next song, or if you want to follow me on my social media, like stepping up my Duolingo now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So new album. Are you doing any more work with your muse? I mean, like vocally,
She
performance
is
wise.
actually right now touring with the national touring company of Funny Girl. She's playing Mrs. Bryce.
Okay.
And so she's through, I believe that's through April. She's on the road. But she is working on a new song, and asked me about if I had any production ideas on it. So we definitely keep in touch.
Wonderful.
And yeah, I love to collaborate, so I'll definitely keep you in mind. And yeah, like I said, with each song, I'm very, very eclectic, and I get beat up about that sometimes because,
That was
like,
the
they tell me, "Oh,
90s.
Spotify doesn't know what to do with you," and I say, "Yeah, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to limit myself. Give me a box of crayons. I'm going to use all the crayons."
Yeah.
So I let each song tell me what it wants, and so for every song, it's kind of a new thing. I try to figure out where it wants to go and who would help me get there in the
Absolutely.
best way.
And the most enjoyable way.
Oh yeah,
Like
exactly.
back in the day, God forbid you put a saxophone in a song, or another instrument that might take it out of that pop or whatever genre.
Right.
You'll be done by a record label. But with COVID, one of the good things that it brought, it showed us the vulnerability of our industry completely.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we have to shut our mouths about pigeon. Enough of life is pigeonholed and named anyway, rather than looking at
Yeah.
that which makes us the
Mhm.
same. We're constantly looking at that which makes us different, which for me is,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm supportive of anybody who wants to live the way they want to live. But names, pronoun, like everything for me, it's scary. We're just family. We're just humans living this experience, which is fucking tough. A lot of the
Mhm.
time, it's tough. So we should
Mhm.
be looking at that which we are the same, rather than that which sets us apart. And we're just brothers and
Oh.
sisters and family on this little spinning globe, trying to
Mhm.
make the best deal of our 40 to 90 years. That's it. So I don't want to be a bear or an otter or a he, she, they, them, or a stick, or just Jaden. My religion is Jadenism, and my pronouns are me and I. That is
There
it.
you
So
go.
it's just, I just want us to be able, you know, just to pick each other up, support each other, and be more of a community, rather than setting ourselves apart and
Yeah.
just focusing on everything that isn't the same constant, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely amazing. I think what you're doing is super cool. I'm a fan.
Thank you.
So I will look forward to doing that duet with you in the future.
Alrighty.
So duets, new albums, anything else you've missed?
Well, I'm right now, I'm so laser focused. I mean, I've got carpal tunnel from emailing and texting about my release
Me too.
to everyone I can think of, trying to get it out there. And it's like, we have to wear all these different hats. I mean, Melissa, we were talking about how when she was on a label, 30 years ago, there was this huge team of people, promoting her and doing all these different things. And as an independent artist, you're on your own and it's DIY and good luck. And it keeps shifting and then the streaming companies are making so much money and we're not, and everybody's making lots of money off of us. And it's very hard for us to make any money.
Yeah,
But I mean, I get a lot of gratification from knowing that my music touches people.
amazing.
And I've always said that if just 1 out of 300 people liked my music, that would be 1 million people just in the US, let alone the rest of the world. So it's just trying to connect with those people
Yeah.
and figuring out how to find them. And so thank you for helping me possibly reach some people.
When your new EP or album comes out, let's touch base and do a Jaden show special as well. I'll tell you what I did want to say about the fragility of our industry and how we notice that we are just really kind of fragile species and creatures and stuff was one of the best things that came out of the COVID thing was it kind of taught us that we can just be, we have to find ways to adapt to changes and overcome different things like that. So, when I was a pop star, you could only be pop. God forbid you put any other flavor in there. When I done classical crossover and popra, God forbid you put any other flavor into that. I mean, you can do a little bit more because if you can sing a pop song, but as long as it's in Spanish or Italian, it can be classical, which I found quite interesting. But then I thought, oh my God, there's a video you should go and see it. It's called Without Me, Without You, Without You. I think it's called, I can't remember now. But and a friend of mine said, oh, we should write together. I'm like, yeah, let's do something. Here's a black Mexican guy into reggaeton and dembow and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I've never done anything like that. But we wrote a song together. I done, the melody in the English. He done a lot of the other stuff on rap and everything in Spanish. And he goes, it would be really good, Jaden, right? If like I'm, like the black guy, he always gets the beautiful girl at the end of the show. And I'm just like, okay, yeah. And he said, what about if you're like the typical business, weirdo white boy? He goes, but you get the boy at the end of the show. I'm like, no, I can't do that, man. He's like, why not? I said, I'll never get signed to a record label. All of a sudden, into my traumatic 90s, straight away, like, no, I'll be rejected by everybody. That's it. I'm not, but everyone knows I'm gay anyway. It's not like I've ever been in, but it's just like to have it there. And I went and thought about it and I went, I'm 49 years old. Does it fucking matter anymore? Bring it. The fact that I had to, I think it was reggaeton's first ever gay kiss, and I had to pay that boy that I kissed 1,000 pesos because he was straight. Absolutely amazing guy. But yeah, it wasn't even. But it was amazing, and just to be able to think, I've been doing classical crossover and opera, kind of basic opera, for 15 years, and now I'm doing reggaeton and pop. And I'll be singing like Nelson Dorma in a show, and someone will go, do you know any Whitney? I'm like, what? Do you know? I want to dance with somebody. I'm like, yes. So now I came to Mexico with 30 backing tracks, classical opera, from Ave Maria to, Time to Say Goodbye, and all this. You live there. I was literally the English bad boy version of Josh Groban, the tattooed, pierced English.
Cool.
And then that's why I loved him so much, because he was just like, he was a bit of a music world for a while. And then all of a sudden, I've now got 800, and I'm singing from Mariachi to Dua Lipa. I'm singing Josh Groban to, Pavarotti, and ABBA to, I don't know, Celine Dion. And I can just enjoy it now because I don't really give a shit if there's a saxophone in it or if there's a bit of a beat, or because I'm now just doing Jaden and being eclectic, which is why I was saying, you just using all those crayons to color your music. It's what we should all be doing, right? Stop pigeonholing this. It's like I said, there's enough bloody labels. Let's just be free with some things.
Yeah.
So power to you. If I could fist bump you, I would. I'm so chuffed that you spent time being on the Jaden show today. I haven't lost electricity, so the show hasn't shut down halfway through. That's amazing. Obviously, positivity coming through the Wi-Fi. Where can people find you? People obviously are now desperate to go and suss you out, and find out about your music and support you and follow you. Aren't you, kids at home? Where can they do it?
So my website is hearjohnny, HEARJOHNNY.com. And all my links are there. And my YouTube channel's at hearjohnny, my Instagram at hearjohnny. So I try to be consistent with that. So you can usually find me TikTok, same thing, at hearjohnny. So that's an easy way. But everything's on the website, and there you can hear all my tracks there. You can watch videos. Of course, just as I subscribe to your YouTube channel, if people, that's always a good thing if people subscribe to our channels. And so
they even realize, actually.
What was that?
It's more important than they even.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And liking the videos, commenting under them, all that stuff. I'm always practically begging people to do it, but because it really does help. It's funny because the one 2 years ago at Halloween, I got lucky. We released a music video just for fun, like a week before Halloween, a dance track. And my husband made this amazing video with dancing monsters. And I think that's mostly the reason it went viral. And it got 2 million views in 4.5 days. And we didn't do any promotion or anything. It just lucked out. Never since has that happened, but it was fun that one time. So yeah, you just never know. You just put it out there, and then whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Well, when I made that reggaeton song, I had 2 Spanish labels interested and 1 American, like stateside label interested, and they were all really interested, but they said, you don't have enough YouTube followers. I'm like, but I've got 10,000 on Facebook, 50,000 on Twitter. Can't we put them all together? No, sorry, mate. So that one click that doesn't even take a second. People at home, that one click that doesn't even take a second. Do it for the artists that are working their asses off just to keep doing what they love to do and to provide you with good music and entertainment as well. Takes 1 second, and it's not costing you anything. It's free. It's a winner, right?
Yeah.
So, well, I wish you untold amounts of success, untold amounts of blessings and luck as well with your onward career. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about a duet. I'm also very excited to hear about your EP and other things that you've got coming out as well. So we will be in touch.
Great. Right back at you.
And when you've got your new album, your new EP, we'll do a little bit of a shout out about that as well. People at home, you've met Mr. Schaefer. Go and find him before you finish your cup of tea and your custard cream biscuit. Go and search him on the internet. You've seen all the links running through this interview. And if you go back onto the title page of the video, all the links will be there as well. There is zero excuse for you not to be following this young man everywhere and supporting his work and his passion and his creativity. So do it. I'll come and hunt you down, you understand? Johnny, thank you so much for being part of my show.
Thank you.
We will catch up again soon.
Great. Thank you.
See you later, bud.
Bye-bye.
What a diamond man is he. How amazing. And as you heard on the interview, it really is important that you support and you like and you subscribe and you follow and you share and you comment on artists' work, because we do it because we love sharing with you, and it takes 2 seconds to hit subscribe. That's it. Not even 2 seconds, less than. So please go and make sure you support and show love to Johnny on all of these social media platforms. And if you're there, you can do the same for mine as well. That would be wonderful. Thank you so much for coming back and joining me today on another wonderful edition of the Jaden Show. I will hopefully be back very, very soon for yet another incredible person, because there are so many to introduce you to. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share this show with everybody in the world, including your enemies, because maybe they won't be your enemy after they've seen this show. They will thank you for inputting some passion, creativity, and loveliness into their Sunday. Absolutely. I'm going to leave you with a bit more music and another video. from Johnny Schaefer. This is called You Can't Hide the Light. You've heard all about it in the interview. You're going to watch it now. Take care. See you next week in the Jaden Show.
The thing about barbed wire is that you can see right through it. The thing about you is that you're transparent too. The thing about us is that we put up defenses, but still all of this light just keeps bursting right through. You can't hide the light.
Sometimes a race, sometimes a
You can't hide the light.
It's like the sun and moon and
You
stars
can't
together.
hide the light
24/7, January through December.
you.
Sometimes I think that you forget. Don't worry, I remember.
The thing about white lies is that you can see right through them. The thing about your eyes is they show the real you. The thing about us is that we got this connection that all of this light just keep bursting right through. You can't hide the light.
But I'm sure that you already know. So many times when it's been dark, your love is so near. So many others start to shine when you decide to show it. It just takes turning on a light and darkness goes away.
I thought I was lost in the darkness. I couldn't make anything out. I remember that first healing flicker, like finding a stream in the midst of a long, hard drought. Now I drink in all your lies. Drinking all your
So many times when it's been dark, your love is
You
shown
can't
away.
hide
So many
the light.
others start to shine when you decide to show it. It just takes turning on a light and darkness goes away.
Another thing about barbed wire
Sometimes
is that you can slip right through it. Another thing about you is that
sometimes
you cut to the chase. Another thing about us is that
so many
we've learned how to let go. Now I got to bask in all this light from your face.
I keep the dawn of you with wonder and anticipation. Your light is unaffected by the fog and clouds and rain. Unlike the moon, your light is fueled by self-illumination. You might disguise it, but it never fully goes away.
Sometimes I think that you forget. Don't worry, I remember.